Okay, if you're running an Instagram growth campaign and you're growing your Instagram profile with ads, I'm going to share with you the KPIs and the metrics that we pay attention to for us and our clients when we're growing their Instagram profile. What's going on, gang? It's your boy, Jerry the Ad Wizard, coming back at you with a brand new video. And today, if you're running a Instagram growth or an Instagram follower campaign to drive traffic to your Instagram profile, to grow your Instagram profile with ads, you're going to need to know what metrics and what KPIs you're going to need to be paying attention to. So sit back, we're going to get into it today, ad gang. If you're growing an audience on Instagram, if you're growing a following on Instagram, it's important to take note of the important metrics that are affecting the growth of the business. And I'm going to go through some things, some best practices, the things to look out for, and an example tracking spreadsheet so that you understand exactly which metrics we're looking at when we're growing client Instagram profiles with ads. So gang, grab your coffees and grab your hats. It's time to spin up some ad magic. Okay, ad gang, I am here. I am in the tracking spreadsheet. And I'm going to show you exactly an example of what we do when we're tracking Instagram growth. Okay, so if you're running an ad campaign to grow your Instagram profile, well, as you will know, this is a new campaign type in Meta Ad Manager, but it is a traffic-only campaign, right? It is not a conversion campaign that the conversion happens when somebody visits your Instagram profile, right? So there are some important things that we need to bear in mind when we're tracking this, because it's not such a clear-cut, this many people have visited the Instagram page and this is how many people have followed. We need to do a deeper dive into this data because we can only drive traffic to the Instagram page on the Meta Ad Manager, okay? We need to dissect this data in order to find out how many conversions, how many people are following, how many people are unfollowing, what the click-through rate is, what the conversion rate is, and what the follower to unfollow ratio is. Okay, so I need to bear this in mind. Okay, so let's walk you through this spreadsheet. So for Instagram growth, I'd like to draw your attention to this. Okay, this section here. This section is the click-through rate. It is the number of profile visits that we've had, and then the cost per acquisition for somebody to click onto your Instagram page. Okay, so as we can see here, the click-through rate typically on Facebook, if you need anything between 4 to 10% is really, really great. The click-through rate is very much a gauge as to how appealing the ad is, how drawn somebody is to click on the ad, and that's a key indicator as to whether or not you need to upgrade your creatives. Because if you're seeing quite a low click-through rate with that creative targeting that audience, it isn't resonating with that audience, right? So you can do some optimization around that. The click-through rate is a very good gauge to find out how appealing your ad or your offer is. We've got the click-through rate. That's important to monitor. That information you can see in the Meta Ad Manager. Okay, Instagram profile visits. This is how much traffic we've driven to the Instagram profile. Again, we can find this in the Meta Ad Manager. And then the CPA to get somebody to visit that Instagram profile, okay, that is also in the Ad Manager. So we're tracking on this. You could do this on a daily basis. You could do this on a weekly basis. We're doing this on a monthly basis. And we have months go along horizontally. And then we've got all the individual metrics that we're looking at going down vertically. Okay, so that is the information that we can actually see in the Ad Manager. This is great, but it doesn't give us a full picture, right? We need to see the full picture. To see the full picture, I'd like to also draw your attention to the very bottom section, okay? I'm going to go through the other sections that I passed here in a moment, because this is actually to do with conversions, and this is to do with affecting the bottom line of the business and not necessarily to do with the Instagram growth, but they are metrics that we can pull out of the Instagram profile and attribute to our bottom line, to the business results that we're looking to achieve. Within this case, conversions around consultations, right? So we want leads to book in a consultation. Okay, that's the main goal, right? But initially, we're getting people to follow the Instagram profile so that you can use omnipresent strategy to grow your audience, grow those touch points, grow that value, that demonstrate, that know, like, and trust within your audience. And then bottom of the funnel, hit them with a hard sell, a good CTA. But at the moment, obviously, we're just building up the Instagram profile, right? We're building up the community, the audience. So as we're driving traffic to the Instagram page, we want to look at some other additional metrics that are affecting the growth of the Instagram profile. So in this case, we are looking at the total number of followers. This will tell us how many followers we're gaining. So the first thing that we're looking at is obviously the Instagram followers. How much is the following changing based on our injection of ad spend? Then the second thing is that we're looking at the conversion rate. So from page view to follow, how many page views are we getting? The Instagram profile visits. So how many profile visits we're getting, and then how many of those people turned into followers. Okay, so that's something else. Like, what is the conversion rate of the Instagram page? Not everybody that visits the Instagram page is going to follow you, right? So we need to be able to keep track and monitor the conversion rate of that Instagram profile. So when somebody does land on your Instagram profile, they are following and what is the percentage of people landing on the Instagram page and following. Again, this is another key metric that we need to be paying attention to. As we broaden the audience, this conversion rate may go down because you're now targeting a larger, broader audience that isn't going to convert necessarily. So it's important to, as you're adjusting these little tactics, that you keep an eye on this, that you keep a monitor on the conversion rate of people coming to their Instagram profile and then turning into a follower. And the last section of this is the follower to unfollow ratio, right? There is an understanding that, of course, as people are following, they may unfollow you, right? Maybe they're expecting a follow back or whatever that reason is. So it's important for us to understand for every one follow that we get, how many people unfollow the profile. And the way that we break this down is through a ratio, right? So as we can see here, with every 4.7 new followers that we get one unfollow. That was in May. In June, for every 1.8 followers we got one unfollow. So if you keep an eye on this, you can see the retention rate of the Instagram profile. Are you creating engaging content that is resonating with that traffic that you're driving to your Instagram profile? Or are people unfollowing you quite quickly? Okay, this is another key piece of information that you guys need to be looking at when it comes to your Instagram growth. Okay, people are following, but how many people are unfollowing? Okay, not everybody looks at this, but it's very, very important to have this data and to understand these additional touch points. So that's something else within the Instagram growth that I would highly recommend doing. So what we're trying to do is within the Instagram profile is still promote people submitting their lead details, people booking a consultation, right? So where we go to get this information, the top two rows, okay, this is where we can get this information from Instagram directly, okay, under the analytics section. It will show you how many clicks to your outbound links there are. And if you have in your bio, you have your website link, the Instagram analytics will tell you how many clicks you've had there, right? Now, when it says to IG referral conversions, this data is found in Google Analytics, okay? You need to go to the report section, go to the traffic acquisition section, and there you will see all the different platforms that are driving traffic to your website. And hopefully, if you set it up correctly, the conversion data from each platform, right? So we're able to see here, even though we're growing the Instagram profile, we're still getting consultations being booked, right? And we can track this through Google Analytics. Again, we're looking at the Instagram page growth, but also what effects that is having on the bottom line of the business, right? So at this point here, this is another really, really important section to bear in mind. How many clicks are we getting to the website? How many actions are people taking on that website through referring them through the Instagram profile, right? So two sections here at the very top that are important and interesting. And you need to go to Instagram and Google Analytics respectively to go and find that data, right? The final thing in the spreadsheet that I would like to draw your attention to before I go into some best practices would be, yeah, again, but anywhere else, and you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you never miss any more important dates. We are here many times a week to bring business owners, online advertisers, and digital marketeers the best from their online advertising, paid media, and digital marketing strategies. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. If you have a lead form on your Instagram profile, okay, you can set this up. If you have a professional or business account, you can create a lead gen form on your Instagram profile directly. And what we're doing here is that we're also tracking that particular conversion on that Instagram profile, right? We want to see, okay, we're driving all this growth, we're driving all this traffic to the Instagram profile, people are taking action on the website. We can also create a touch point where people can take action on the Instagram profile, right? How many prospects are submitting their lead details on the lead gen form in Instagram? Okay, that's another piece of information. You can go and find that information on the Instagram analytics section. Then we need to look at what the CPA for that was. Okay, so you look at your total ad spend, okay, and then you divide that by how many submitted their lead details. That's not the only growth point of this exercise. It is, of course, one growth point, but we're not just looking for IG leads. So you could do the same thing for the conversions happening on the website. You could definitely put in the meta ad spend. How many conversions has that been? What is the CPA for that? So it's the idea that here, all the different touch points you're looking at, what is the conversion rate? How much have we spent? What is the click-through rate? Follow to unfollow ratio, and then what is the ultimate difference and success of the profile growth? So all of these things we can report back on to the client, okay, with this data. I think it's very important to do this because it shows very clear understanding as to what attributes to Instagram growth, what other variables can come into effect when you're growing an Instagram profile. And it gives the client a full and comprehensive understanding that they can fully trust you to grow the Instagram profile, because you're looking at all the different variables affecting the growth, affecting the business. And this is highly, highly valuable to businesses and clients. So look at that data, guys. I'm going to go into some best practices. Okay. I'm just going to reel off some tips and tricks that I think are very, very important as you're doing this. Okay. So the first thing is obviously looking at the data. Okay. If the conversion rate from page view to follow is good, okay, keep doubling down on that stuff, guys. Okay. You understand now, you have the data, you know what is going to make this thing work. Okay. Look at the conversion rate. This will give you an understanding as to how successful your follower campaign is. Now, within this example, we can see it dropping. The reason that it is actually dropping is because we expanded the targeting for this strategy. And that's why, as we're targeting more people, the conversion rate of the Instagram growth actually goes down, right? We're keeping a close eye on this because we're wanting to make sure that the areas that we are targeting do have an okay conversion rate. So we're going to be monitoring this. This is a point of monitoring the success of your ads and ensuring that you are constantly doubling down and winning on your successes. So that's one tip that I give, right? What's your conversion rate? Monitor, double down on the things that work. If you're seeing good conversion rate, then keep doing it, guys. Keep experimenting around. If you have a brand new profile, okay, this is another piece of advice that I would give. These follower growth campaigns will take a longer time and will cost more money. As you post more content, as people then can expect, can see what type of content you're going to be posting, the CPA will actually go down and the cost per follow will actually go down. The next tip is to write up all of the learnings that you've discovered through doing this. Okay, make sure that you keep track of this data. Okay, feed it back to the team. Tell the team what's been working. Okay, I'm sure they're really interested to hear what kind of content has been working really well, what is driving the most attention, specific follow us creative, right? What are some reasons that somebody is going to want to follow the page? What are some of those pain points that you're addressing, etc. It's very important to feedback the learnings to the team so that they can also benefit from the learnings. Like, the more content that you are filming, the more content that you post, the more full your profile will be so that people understand exactly what type of content to expect if they follow you. If you've got a brand new profile, your cost per follow will be a lot higher. And I'm going to show you exactly how we calculate that, right, guys? Because this is one spreadsheet, but I've also got an additional spreadsheet, which is even bigger, okay? And it looks at even more touch points, guys. So thanks for sticking around. I'm going to show you that right now, okay? Super secret additional metrics to be watching out for looks like this. And I've highlighted it in green so you know the additional metrics that we're looking at. Okay, and this is it, guys. Okay, so here I've added in a few additional touch points. Not necessary, but if you're wanting to be super, super vigorous in your metrics, in your analyzing, and in your KPI settings, then I think that this is highly, highly worth doing. So here, guys, in the upgraded version, there is an additional section for referral conversion CPA, so we can keep track of the ID referrals, traffic, and how much this is costing us based on the ad spend that we originally set. Okay, so we've got that as a new field. This will allow us to keep track of this. And as we can see here, it's going down. There was one period where it wasn't, but these are going down as time goes on. And then we have another section. Okay, so the IG lead CPA. I've added it as a self-calculating field so that it just looks at the meta ad spend, divides it by the leads, and it gives you the lead CPA, okay? And again, this is an interesting thing to monitor and observe, okay? Here we can see in the last month, we only had one. So something has happened there, gives us an understanding that we need to rally around this and fix maybe potentially a problem or a bug. So this is why it's very important to look at the data, because you'll be able to analyze and see what is working, what is not working as well. I have additional sections here at the bottom as well, because this is the advanced spreadsheet. So I'm going to actually share the advanced version of the spreadsheet down in the link below. So you can download it for yourself, and then you can add in all of your data to see how it's affecting your Instagram profile growth. Okay, so the additional sections right at the end that I have added in are number of new followers. How do we do that? Well, we look at how many followers we had last month, how many followers we had this month, and then minus this month from last month to give us the exact number of followers that we've had. Okay, this wasn't in the previous spreadsheet. This is more the advanced spreadsheet. And now we can see exactly how many followers we've had, which will also tell us when we extract and look at the ad spend, okay, how much it's cost us for a new follower. So it's interesting to watch and monitor. Again, as you're changing the audience targeting, etc., it's interesting to monitor your actual true cost per new follower, okay? This obviously looks at the meta ad spend in total divided by the number of new followers. Now, the next section and the final section of the advanced version of the spreadsheet is the conversion rate page view to follow as an automatic calculation. Okay, because if we're calculating these things manually, there is room for error, and we don't like error, guys. So use the mathematical equations and formulas in a spreadsheet, in G Sheets, in Microsoft Excel to do these calculations for you, because if you do manual data input, there could be some human error. So within this, I've got conversion rate, a page view to follow. This looks at the number of profile visits that we had in total, and that's again found in the Meta Ad Manager, divided by the number of new followers. Okay, that gives us the exact conversion rate of this many people followed. Therefore, the conversion rate people following is this. Okay, so that's the final step. And guys, that is the advanced spreadsheet for you as well. Hopefully that's really useful to you guys. These additional touch points in this advanced spreadsheet, I think, is also worth incorporating into your tracking. And yeah, hit me a comment down below if you've got any questions. Hit me a comment down below if you've got any other ways of doing it. I'd love to hear what you think and how you're working. I think this is a very in-depth way of understanding Instagram profile growth. And I'd love to hear if there's other things that matter to you, other things that you would include in this spreadsheet, or what's important. This is just how we handle our growth and our client growth within Instagram. So hope that was useful to you guys. And thanks so much for watching. And that's it for today, gang. Hopefully that was useful. Hopefully you got something valuable out of that. I'm going to attach the spreadsheet down below so that you can download it for yourself and use it as an example spreadsheet so you can fill it in for your personal brand, so you know exactly which metrics are important for your Instagram growth using ads. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for all the support. I really, really appreciate every single one of you. If you've got any questions at all, don't forget to hit a comment down below. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe so you never miss any more important updates. I'm Jerry the Ad Wizard. You can find me at Jerry Griffiths on LinkedIn, at Jerry Ad Wizard on Instagram, and at Jerry Dreadlocks everywhere else. If you'd like to know how to set up an Instagram follower campaign from scratch, right, so that you know exactly how to grow your Instagram following using online ads, okay, click this video to the right here to watch exactly how to do that. I'm Jerry the Ad Wizard, and wherever you are in the world, I bid you peace, love, and a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, I will catch you in the next one.